females, welcome to my channel. If you are new, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. I upload new videos every single week. So today's video is something I am super excited about. I have quite a few polishes for the November polish pickup. If you are new and have no idea what I am talking about, I will have all of the information down in the description box, but in short, Polish Pickup is a monthly indie collaboration between dozens, if not hundreds, of independent handmade indie brands. So the November Polish Pickup opens this Friday, November 5th? Yes, I think it's November 5th. November 5th on the Polish Pickup website. Again, I'll have that link down below. So I just noticed that I recently hit 800 subscribers over here on YouTube, which is crazy because I just hit 700 the other day. So I'm hosting another giveaway. I had so much fun doing the last one and you all seem to like it, so I'm hosting another giveaway. This time the giveaway will be open for international. I'm going to be giving away a $20 gift card to Polish Pickup, so you just have to make sure that Polish Pickup, well, ships to your country. So if Polish Pickup ships to your country, you can enter this giveaway. Fill out the little Gleam form that I have linked down in the description box. So this giveaway will be open for 1 week starting from today, which is... oh, it's Halloween! Happy Halloween! So the giveaway will be open for 1 week, and because this is a giveaway specifically for my YouTube subscribers, I would greatly appreciate it if you were subscribed to the channel if you enter. I don't want to force anyone to follow me who doesn't actually want to follow me, so follow me if you want to. So again, Polish Pickup opens this Friday, November 5th at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Again, all the information will be linked down below. I will also have links to the Polish Pickup website, the Polish Pickup International website, the Polish Pickup Facebook group, and I also have a link to my blog post with all of my swatch photos. And just a heads up, I am doing my comparisons video this month. If you all can think of any polishes that I featured today that you would like to compare to something else, just let me know. I have a couple of ideas for things that I want to compare, but I haven't fully fleshed out yet what I'm going to do. Let me know down in the comments what you would like to see me compare. So yeah, let's just get into the video. First up, we have all Mixed Up Lacquers with Skip, Reverse, Draw. This is inspired by the game of Uno and described as a coppery red base loaded with a rainbow assortment of metallic flakes. It's priced at $13.50 for 15 ml and has a cap of 250 bottles. Skip Reverse Draw 4 had a really great jelly formula. It did not feel overly thick at all despite having a ton of flakies in it. The brush did seem to get a little fluffed up from all the flakies, but I did not have any issues with application. The base color does start off on the more sheer side. You're definitely going to want to build this one up for full opacity. I found that the base color is like a burnt reddish orangey shade. Colors like this tend to lean a lot more orangey on me just based on like my undertones of my skin. So I think this one might look a little bit different if you have like cooler undertones than I do. I found this polish looked best in 3 coats. It was passable in 2, but to get the color that you see in the bottle, you're going to want to go in for 3 coats. The flakies in this all dried on flat, so I only needed 1 coat of top coat to completely smooth this one out. Nothing in here will dry down texture or be difficult to remove. Next up, we have BCB Lacquers with a Musing. This is inspired by the game called Muse and described as a teal green that shifts from a green to gold to blue with holographic. It's priced at $13 for 16.5 ml and has a cap of 300 bottles. This polish had a really beautiful formula. It went on buttery smooth and I had 0 application issues. I found the teal base looks just slightly minty paired with the shimmer. I found for the colors in the shimmer that I was mainly seeing like a golden to a greenish shift and blue at very extreme angles. The holographic in this looks fantastic in the sun. This will likely be a 2 to 3 coater depending on your own nail length. I use 2 coats for my swatches here. I will note that when you are putting this one on, the shimmer does show some brush strokes, but I found that all of the brush strokes disappear as the polish dries. Here is my swatching buddy, Stormy. So nothing in this polish will dry on texture or be difficult to remove. I did not experience any staining. Next up, we have Bee's Knees Lacquer with Beware of Winter's Cold. This is inspired by Demeter from the game Hades and described as a pale blue based pastel multichrome which shifts from silver to pink to green. It's priced at $13 for 15 ml and has no cap. This polish had a fantastic formula. It is extremely color shifty. This is going to be one of those polishes that just blow your mind at seeing all the various colors on the nail. I was seeing all of the described colors in the nail. I feel like paired with this blue base, there also looks like there's like a bluish tone shift, but it's just the base color coming through. The multichrome in this has a larger particle size, so you won't see any brush strokes through it. This polish is also on the more sheer side, so you're definitely going to build this one up for the most opacity. I did have a tiny bit of visible nail line depending on the angle as well as the light source. Lower lighting, I wasn't seeing too much of like a nail line, but I was seeing it in like brighter lighting. So I swatched this one in 3 coats on its own, as well as in 1 coat over black, which you are seeing here. Nothing in here will dry down textured or be difficult to remove. I also did not experience any staining. And now we have Cameo Colors Lacquers with Preying on Phantoms. This one is inspired by the video game called Prey, which I still need to play. This is described as a medium gray crelly base full of hollow sparkle, indigo to purple to red shimmer, violet to pink to gold, and lime to blue to gold UCC flakies and hollow micro flakes. This is priced at $11.50 for 15 ml and has a cap of 105 bottles. This polish had a really wonderful formula. It did not feel thick or thin, and I did not have any application issues. I found the gray base to be on the slightly more sheer side, so you're going to want to build this one up for the most opacity. The shimmer is very strong. In person, what I was seeing was like purple to gold to like a pinkish kind of color shift. The flakes in this all spread very evenly and easily without feeling textured. I did notice that the UCC flakes did seem to sink a little bit in the bottle. I usually will do a couple of coats on my pointer finger and then I go in to do my live swatch nail, and I noticed that my live swatch nail did have significantly less flakies on it than the other nails. Cameo is planning on tweaking the base a little bit to combat this issue, but I'm hesitant to really call it an issue because most people will do like their whole hand and not like skip one nail and go back. So it's not like, I don't see it being too much of an issue if you paint your nails like a normal person. So this one is going to be, I think it's going to be a solid 3-coater. In 2 coats, it was still on the more sheer side. Nothing in here will dry down texture or be difficult to remove. Next up, we have Color Spectrum Polish with Not the Letter Z. This is inspired by Scattergories and described as a red jelly base with a navy to purple to red shifting flaky, black hollow glitter, and white hex glitters that represent dice. It's priced at $12 for 13 ml and has a cap of 115 bottles. This polish had a really wonderful jelly formula. It does start off on the more sheer side, so you're definitely going to want to build this one up for full opacity. I found that the large hex glitters in this have like a very light scattering on the nail. As you're about to see here, I did do a little bit of glitter placement to get them where I wanted. I found to get the most of those out in the bottle, holding the bottle upside down between coats will be your best bet to get those out on the nail. I found that this also looked like it had some type of shimmer, like a golden shimmer effect on there. It's not in the description, but that's what I was seeing in person. The holographic in this has a really nice, delicate sparkle. I thought this was really, really beautiful. The flakies in this all spread very evenly and easily. This polish, depending on how many of the larger hex glitters you get out on your nail, that will depend on how textured this will feel. I found with 1 coat of top coat, I had just very slight texture, but because the large hexes are so sparse on the nail, this isn't going to be like super textured. I don't see them like popping off if you only use 1 coat of top coat. And I do want to note this one did lean just a little orangey on me, as reds often do. So I swatched this polish in 3 coats with 1 coat of top coat, and I did not experience any staining. And now we have Colores de Carol with Every Letter Counts. This one is inspired by Scrabble Deluxe board game and described as a blackened multichrome red with iridescent chameleon flakes. It's priced at $12.50 for 15 ml and has a cap of 300 bottles. Every Letter Counts had a really great formula. It did not feel thick at all despite having so many flakies in it. The flakes all spread very evenly and easily on their own and will not dry down textured. I found the base color for this is very color shifty. What I was seeing in person was like a deep red to a brighter red to an orange to a gold. And this also has this like kind of like a hint of like a almost burgundy-ish kind of color in here as well.
think this one is going to be a 2 to 3 coater depending on your own personal preference. I feel like I was being very picky when I added my third coat. Like the third coat didn't give that much of a difference, but I feel like there was just a slight difference. So like I mentioned, nothing here is going to dry down textured. You will want top coat for a nice glossy finish, and the flakies in this look fantastic matte. Look at that, that is gorgeous. Removal on this will not be overly difficult, and I did not have any issues with staining. Next up, we have Crystal Knockout with Giggle. This one is inspired by the game from the 90s called Girl Talk, and it's described as a bright pink jelly base with holographic and golden shimmer, holographic micro glitter, matte dot glitters in blue, purple, and pink, as well as glitter stars in holographic silver and matte turquoise. It's priced at $11 for 15 ml and has no cap. Giggle had a fantastic formula. This one is jammed packed with glitters. I'm gonna say the base itself does not feel thick, but this is very glitter heavy, so it might feel a little bit thick if you're not used to working with glitter polishes. I still would stand by that it's not thick, but it does have a lot of glitter. The glitters all spread very evenly and easily. I did not need to hold the bottle upside down to get the glitter coverage that you were seeing here. You can see I'm kind of just like dibby-dabbing, pushing things around just to make sure nothing is hanging off the edges and sides of my nails. I had quite a few stars on the brush, so what you just saw there was me also just kind of dabbing the stars that were stuck to the brush onto my nail. Again, that's me being extra. You don't have to do that, but I love glitter, so I did it. I found that this polish looked best in 3 coats. It's passable in 2. This could also double as a topper. I will note that this does dry down very textured, so you will want to go in with a glitter-eating top coat before going in with your normal glossy top coat. I used the Glisten Glow glitter grabber for this, which is also available this month during polish pickup. Removal for this polish is going to be extremely difficult if you try to scrub this one off. I would definitely recommend using the soak off method. If you don't know what that is, I will have a video linked down in the description box on how I remove glitter polishes the easy way, or of course pair this with a peel off base coat. Next up, we have Cupcake Polish with Dream Phone. This one is inspired by the 90s teen favorite game called Dream Phone. This is described as a glowy magenta to indigo duochrome. It's priced at $13 and has no cap. Dream Phone had a really fantastic formula. I found like the base color of this was hard to pinpoint. It's like a reddish corally type of color, and paired with the shimmer, you just get like this really unique, interesting, glowy mix on your nail. So I was not seeing any brush strokes in person. I feel like I'm looking at my swatch photos right now, and I feel like if I look hard, I kind of see some brush strokes, but my eyes were not picking that up in person. This will be a 2 to 3 coater depending on your own personal preference. I found the third coat slightly deepens the color, but this has really great coverage in 2 coats. This does dry down dull. You will want top coat for a nice glossy finish, and I did not experience any staining. Next up, we have Glisten Glow with On Thin Ice. This is inspired by a game that Jill played as a child called Thin Ice. It's described as an icy powder blue polish loaded with a color shifting shimmer that shifts from an orange to red to yellow to green. It's priced at $13 for 15 ml and has no cap. On Thin Ice had a really fantastic formula. The base is an icy blue that starts off pretty sheer but builds up really nicely for full opacity. The shimmer is very color shifty. I was seeing all of the described colors in person. I did not see any brush strokes for that shimmer. This shimmer does have like a slightly larger particle size. I think this one is going to be a solid 3 coater on pretty much everyone. It had good coverage in 2 coats, but it was still pretty sheer. You didn't quite get the color that I was seeing in the bottle in 2 coats. Nothing in here will dry down textured or be difficult to remove. I did not experience any staining. You will want top coat for a nice glossy finish. It's my face again. So I'm going to be talking about the Glisten Glow Glitter Grabber. I feel like I have talked about this product a ton of times already. I love this stuff. I have been personally purchasing Glisten Glow's Glitter Grabber since I believe it was first launched a few years ago. I love this stuff. I use it with all of my glitter heavy polishes for my swatches. I find for my for flaky polishes, for my swatches, I don't find that the flakies kind of absorb the top coat as quickly as like a glitter will. But I find that if I'm personally wearing like a really flaky, dense polish, for like after a couple of hours. Sometimes it's not quite as glossy as it was when I first put it on. Glitter Grabber is really good for that. I only recently realized that this would be really good for flaky polishes as well. So this one is priced at $8 for 15 ml. It is free, cruelty-free, and vegan-friendly. Yeah, I love this stuff. I always recommend this. If you don't already have a glitter-eating top coat, definitely pick this one up. It does work better pairing this with your quick dry top coat versus using 2 coats of quick dry top coat. I do find that there is a difference between them. So yeah, Glitter Grabber, definitely pick this one up. And cat hair floating. Next up, we have Heather's Hues with Spy Master. This one is inspired by a game called Code Names, and it's described as a deep magenta when cold to a colorless when warm, Crelly-based thermal, filled with iridescent flakes and glitters and a touch of multi-chrome flakies. It's priced at $12.50 for 15 ml and has no cap. This polish had a really great formula. It is jam-packed with flakies and glitters. I wouldn't say that the base felt thick, but it does feel a little bit textured going on. I would be mindful when you're polishing this one on not to let any of the flakies or glitters kind of poke off the ends of your nails. Kind of just tap them backwards with the brush if you get that. Also, all of the components spread out very evenly and easily. I found the warm state is a clear with like some cool undertones. The cold state is like a medium/dark magenta. This one was really opaque on me in 2 coats. There was some visible nail line in the warm state since this one is a colorless thermal. This one will be really fun to pair as a topper over another polish if you don't like visible nail line. As I mentioned, this polish is a little bit textured. I ended up going in with 1 coat of the Glisten Glow Glitter Grabber before going in with my usual KBShimmer top coat. That smoothed this one out completely. Removal for this will be on the more difficult side just due to all those components. Definitely soak this one off or pair it with a peel-off base coat. Next up, we have a new to the channel brand that I am very excited about. We have Kathleen Co's King Me. This polish is inspired by checkers and described as a red Crelly base with small black flakies. It's priced at $12.50 for 15 ml and has no cap. This polish had a really wonderful formula. It did not feel overly thick or thin, and I did not have any application issues. I do want to note the base color for this is like a warmer toned red. Reds like this tend to lean very orange on me. I found that this is definitely a true red. It did not feel like a seasonal red. It felt like just like an all year round red shade. The flakies in this are very small, so they will spread out very evenly and easily without giving off any texture. This one is going to be a 2 to 3 coater depending on your own personal preference. I found in 2 coats it was slightly sheer, passable but still sheer. So I'm using 3 coats here. This does dry down dull, so you will want top coat for a nice glossy finish. And this one looks amazing mattified. Next up, we have KBShimmer with That's Taboo. KBShimmer was inspired by the game Taboo. This polish is described as a teal base with silver hollow flakies as well as a shifty shimmer. It is priced at $11 for 15 ml and has no cap. That's Taboo had a fantastic formula. It did not feel overly thick or thin, and I had no application issues, and I also did not have any staining. I really thought this was going to stain me, but it didn't. This polish is absolutely gorgeous. So in the shimmer, the colors that I was seeing were like a reddish pinkish kind of color, as well as like a green, a gold. It just looks amazing. This is super, super beautiful. The hollow flakes all spread very evenly and easily without giving off any texture. I really regret swatching this one at night because I really would have loved to have seen this in the daylight. Nothing in here will be overly difficult to remove. It will also be a 2 to 3 coater depending on your own personal preference. And the next product I'm talking about is the KBShimmer Sugar Scrub. This is again another product that I was purchasing this long before I started getting PR from the brand. I love this stuff. I always keep a jar. Why is there things floating around here so much today? I keep a jar of this stuff in my shower. I keep a jar of it in the half bath downstairs. I love the Sugar Scrub. This is like a go-to one for me. This month's fragrance is scented after peppermint. I'll be honest, I do not really gravitate towards peppermint or minty fragrance things. It's not really for me. This one I find is it's very strong. When I was just getting my videos and photos done for the blog posts and the ones I'm popping up here, I found that the fragrance on this kind of hung out in the room after I had long closed the jar. So yeah, the fragrance this month isn't my personal favorite that this brand has done, but if you like peppermint, you will really, really, really like this one. But I do recommend this scrub. I can't recommend this scrub enough. I love this one. Next up, we have Leesha's Lacquer with Intergalactic Bad. This polish is inspired by Samus from the Metroid series and described as a trithermal polish that shifts from a purple to red to clear, as well as having purple to blue to green flakies and a touch of hollow. It's priced at $12 for 15 ml and has a cap of 250 bottles. This polish had a fantastic formula. It started changing on me right away. This one is going to be on the more sheer side, so you're definitely going to want to build it up for the most opacity. You will have some VNL in the warm state, but I found in the mid-tone and the cool states that it was completely opaque. The flakies all spread evenly and easily in this one. I had a hard time deciding on what colors I was seeing. I feel like the coldest color is like a dark burgundy-ish kind of shade. And then the mid-tone shade is like a pinkish red maybe. And then the warmest state is definitely like a clear. So in my notes, I have this written down that I swatched it in 3 coats. For some reason on my SD card, I am only seeing 2 coats. So I don't know what happened to that 3rd coat. But I'm 99% sure that I did 3 coats. So sorry. Nothing in here is going to dry down textured or be difficult to remove. Next up, we have LynB Designs with Professor Thirst Trap. This is inspired by the game Clue, and it's described as a blackened plum base with a black to red to orange shifting multi-chrome, as well as added hollow sparkle. It's priced at $13 for 15 ml and has no cap. Professor Thirst Trap had a really fantastic formula. It does start off on the sheer side, but it builds up very nicely in 2 to 3 coats. I found the base for this looks like a purple leaning black. This is going to be a very dark base. The multi-chrome pigment is very strong and color shifty. I was seeing all of the described colors in person. As you're seeing here, this is also very holographic. And I found it to be holographic in my normal indoor housing lighting as well. So as I mentioned, this will be a 2 to 3 coater depending on your own personal preference. It had good coverage in 2 coats, but I found the 3rd coat did deepen the color really nicely. Nothing in here will dry down textured. You will want top coat as this does dry down dull. Next up is MTK Design with Flames on the Side of My Face. This is inspired by the infamous Madeline Kahn's Mrs. White improv from the movie Clue, and it's described as a bright cherry red jelly with iridescent flakes, multichrome flakes, as well as some shifting shimmers and sparkle. It's priced at $12 for 15 ml and has no cap. This polish had a fantastic jelly formula. The flakes all spread very evenly and easily on their own without needing to do anything special, and they also do not dry down textured. As I mentioned previously, red polishes very often lean a little orangey on my skin tone. I found that this one did not lean super orangey, but it just had like a hint of like an oranginess from the shimmer and the flakies. But this is a true red. Again, this is not like a seasonal red. So this one had really great coverage in 2 coats. I found to get the color that you see in the bottle, you will want to go in for that 3rd coat. Nothing in here will dry down texture or be overly difficult to remove. I did not experience any staining. This dries down fairly glossy on its own, but this one looks really fantastic with a matte top coat. Next up, we have My Indie Polish with Pac-Man. This one was inspired by the board game Pac-Man, and it's described as a black jelly base with a teal shimmer and a variety of glitters. This is priced at $13 for 15 ml and has no cap. Pac-Man had a fantastic formula. The black base is very much like a jelly, so you're definitely going to build this one up for opacity. The shimmer in this is like a tealish, bluish kind of color. The color for this one really reminds me of Pac-Man. I don't remember the Pac-Man board game, but I remember the original Pac-Man game, and this definitely reminds me a lot of that one. So this polish has a ton of glitter in it. All of the glitter spread very evenly and easily. I didn't have too much trouble getting the star glitters out, but I found holding the bottle upside down between coats will definitely get more of the stars out. This polish will be coming with a little bag of the star glitters for glitter placement, so you don't have to fish or do anything like that if you do not want to. This one is going to be a 2 to 3 coater depending on your nail length and personal preference. I use 3 coats here for my swatches. I wanted more glitter, so that's what I did. I like glitter a lot. So this one does dry down texture due to all of those glitters. I did use the Glisten Glow glitter grabber before going in with my usual quick dry top coat. Removal on this polish will be difficult due to all those glitters. Definitely soak this one off or pair it with a peel off base coat and you won't have any issues. Next up is Native War Paint with Dressed in Jewels. This one is inspired by the Pretty Pretty Princess board game, and it's described as having tons of red/orange to gold shifting shimmer with blue to green to gold shifting flakes in an aqua crelly base with a hint of hollow. It's priced at $13 for 15 ml and has a cap of 150 bottles. Dressed in Jewels had a fantastic formula. It did not feel overly thick or thin, and I had 0 application issues. To my eye, the color that I was seeing in the shimmer was like a pink to a gold, and then the flakies gave this more of like a bluish, and I was seeing like a hint of purple in there as well. To get the most opacity, I would recommend doing 3 coats of this polish as well as adding top coat for a nice glossy finish. Nothing in here will dry down textured or will be difficult to remove, and I did not experience any staining. Next up, we have NeVerMind Apothecary with Eye of the Beholder. This polish is inspired by the D&D Beholder and described as a teal crelly base with a red to orange to gold multichrome flaky, as well as having a strong red to orange to gold aurora shimmer. It's priced at $13 for 15 ml and has a cap of 250 bottles. This polish had a fantastic formula. It did not feel overly thick or thin, and I had 0 application issues. It starts off slightly on the more sheer side, so you're definitely going to build this one up for opacity. I found the flakes all spread very evenly and easily without drying down textured. I did not need to do anything special, and the shimmer just looks phenomenal in this base color, like wow. So this one, like I mentioned, build it up. I found it looked best in 3 coats. You will want top coat for a nice glossy finish. This one will look really fantastic matte as well, just a heads up. Next up, we have Night Owl Lacquer with Wordy Birdie. This one is inspired by the game A Little Wordy. It is described as a gray tinge with blue base filled with a black to red to copper to gold flake. It's priced at $12.60 for 15 ml and has no cap. This polish had a wonderful crelly-like formula. I found the base color is definitely like a gray with like a bluish kind of hint to it. The flakies all spread very evenly and easily and just look so beautiful paired with this base color. So I swatched this one in 3 coats. I feel like I was being overly picky, to be perfectly honest. Like, I had really great coverage in 2 coats. So this will likely be a 2 or 3 coater depending on your own personal preference. I really feel like it was perfectly fine in 2 coats though. Nothing in here will dry down textured or be difficult to remove. No issues with staining, and you will want top coat for a nice glossy finish. Next up, we have NvR Enuff with Sparks. This one is inspired by Spyro the Dragon and his dragonfly companion, Sparks. This is described as a purple base with a green shimmer, a dash of copper, sparkle, as well as linear holographic. It's priced at $12 for 15 ml, has no cap on the US site, and has a cap of 20 bottles on the UK site. Sparks had a fantastic formula. It felt slightly on the thicker side of normal, but it applied very evenly and very smoothly. The shimmer paired with the copper sparks give this a very color shifty like effect on the nail. There will be a few brush strokes through that shimmer after the polish dries. For the holographic, I was only really seeing the hollow when I brought this one out into direct sunlight. So this polish was very opaque. I swatched this one in 2 coats. You will want top coat for a nice glossy finish, as this polish does dry down dull. I do want to note I did experience some slight staining with this polish on my gel overlay, so just a heads up, if you have an overlay, this might stain you. And now we have Poetry Cowgirl nail polish with For Horrible People. This one is inspired by the game Cards Against Humanity and is described as a black/gray when cold to a clear when warm thermal polish packed with a black and red hex and square glitters, as well as a hint of a red to gold shifting shimmer. It's priced at $12 for 15 ml and has no cap. For Horrible People had a really great formula. This has a ton of glitter in it. I did not need to do anything special to get great coverage for the glitters. They all spread very evenly and easily. I found the red shimmer is on the more subtle side on the nail. So just a heads up, I did have a really hard time getting the cold state to show up on my nail. I was informed by the brand owner that she used a older batch of the thermal pigment for the swatcher bottles. Customer bottles will have a fresh batch of the thermal pigment in it, so that shouldn't be an issue for customers. Polishes like this are really great to pair with like a creme polish to use these as a topper. This polish does dry down textured, so you will want to pair this one with a glitter smoothing top coat or doubling up on your regular top coat to get this completely smooth. And of course, removal will be difficult if you try to scrub this one off. I would suggest pairing it with a peel-off base coat or soaking it off. Next up is Pretty Beautiful Unlimited with Simlish. This one is inspired by The Sims and it's described as a lightly tinted medium blue jelly base with holographic sapphire micro glitters, holographic micro flake pigment, as well as a mix of 4 different crystal chameleon flakies. It's priced at $13 for 15 ml and has a cap of 200 bottles. This polish had a really great formula. It is slightly on the thicker side of normal, but it applies very nicely. I found that this is an extremely flaky, dense polish. Make sure when you're polishing that you don't have any flakies that's hanging off on the edge, like the tip of your nail. That will cause your polish to chip early, so just make sure you don't have any of those when you are polishing and you will be all good. So this one applied very evenly. If you don't mind it being on the more sheer side, it's definitely passable in 2 coats. However, to get the color that you see in the bottle, you will want to go in for 3 coats. Nothing in here will dry down textured or be overly difficult to remove. I would recommend doubling up on your base coat if your nails are prone to staining. When I removed this, I had a very slight bluish tint on my overlay. I don't know if that will affect natural nails, but if you have an overlay, definitely double up on your base coat. Next up for products is the Pretty Beautiful Unlimited Wax Melt in the scent Toffee and Bourbon Sea Salt Caramels. This smells amazing. I always really enjoy the Pretty Beautiful Unlimited Wax Melt. Scent throw on them, I find, is always really, really strong. I have noticed that for this wax melt in particular, I've got my warmer over there on my desk, and then my nail room door is right here. The whole downstairs had this beautiful, beautiful scent to it. I didn't even realize that the fragrance was permeating throughout my house until I got up to check on Isabel and noticed that the whole downstairs smelled like the wax melt. Like, this has an amazing scent throw on it. My past experience with this brand, 1 little cube in my warmer over there will last me with daily usage at least a week, sometimes 2 weeks. Usually daily usage is like from morning until late afternoon, somewhere around there. And for over a week, I can keep doing it day after day after day and still have a really fantastic scent throw. For me, what I'm picking up fragrance-wise for this one, I definitely smell the toffee and caramel. It's very sweet, and it has like a, what do you call it? It's like slightly boozy from the bourbon. I feel like the bourbon's just like an add-on. Like, it's mainly sweet, a little creamy from the condensed milk, and just, it smells fantastic. Like, I want to rub this all over my body. It smells that good. Next up, we have Eyed Lacquer with Survival Mode. This one is inspired by Battlefront and described as a black jelly base with a red to orange shifting shimmer and matching flakies plus hollow flakes. This is priced at $12.50 for 13 ml and has a cap of 200 bottles. Survival Mode had a fantastic formula. Since this one is a jelly, you're going to want to build it up for the most opacity. I found the shimmer is very strong and color shifty. It has an almost fiery look on the nail, as well as shifting to like a green at extreme angles. The hollow flakes in this are very small, so they won't dry textured or be difficult to remove. I found this polish had really good coverage in 2 coats, but I felt like the 3rd coat did deepen the color as well as add a bit more of that shimmery goodness to this. So this will likely be a 2 to 3 coater depending on your own personal preference. I thought this one looked fantastic matte. So nothing in here will dry down textured or be overly difficult to remove, and I also did not experience any staining. And the final non-polish item I have to talk about is the Eyed Lacquer Da Balmer. So this month's fragrance smells like Twinkies. It has been a very long time for me since I've had a Twinkie, so I can't say for sure if it smells like Twinkies. It definitely smells like some type of like yummy baked good. So you know I really like that kind of fragrance. I find for this brand the fragrances are always very light. They're not overwhelming at all. They dissipate pretty quickly as well. If you are sensitive to scents, I would say that Da Balmer would be something that you should check out because of that. And also just a heads up, if you are allergic to almonds, this does have sweet almond oil in it, just a heads up. So yeah, I really like this product. My skin lately has been extremely dry. I'm having a hard time getting my skin, I should say. My skin is having a hard time getting used to fall weather. Like just my whole body is just dry. Da Balmer has been really great. I find that when I have this on my arms and my legs, I'm not having to reapply lotion multiple times in one day. I could put it on in the morning and I'm good for the rest of the day. Yeah, so this definitely lives up to the hype. Pairing it over if you were like me and you like layers, if you put on a lotion and then put this on top of the lotion, you'll have a really nice like moisture sandwich, for lack of a better term to call it. Yeah, that's what I swear by if I'm going outside in the cold. Really fantastic product. Next up, we have another new to the channel brand. This one is Restored by Polish. This polish is called What Are You, a Vampire? And it's inspired by the dog scene in the movie Game Night and described as a white curly base with small red glitter shreds as well as red square glitters. It's priced at $11 for 12 ml and has a cap of 100 bottles. This polish had a really fantastic curly formula. All of the components put up very evenly and easily on their own. I did find that the square shaped glitters sank just a tiny bit, so holding this one upside down between coats will get you the most of those little square glitters. This one, I was very impressed by the coverage of this base. It was perfectly opaque and streak free on me in 2 coats. However, my photos do show this one in 3 coats as I wanted more glitter on my nail. Nothing in here will dry down textured, so I used 1 coat of top coat and that smoothed that one out completely. Removal on this will be on the difficult side due to those glitters. Again, recommend a peel off base coat or soaking this polish off. And as a side note, this polish will be fantastic for both Halloween nail art as well as candy cane Christmas nail art. Next up, we have a Sassy Sauce Polish with Itty Bitty Tiddly Committee. This one is inspired by the game by that same name, and it's described as a dark green when cold to a colorless when warm thermal polish with a glowy red to gold shifting shimmer and black to red multi-chrome flakies. It's priced at $12.50 for 15 ml and has a cap of 500 bottles. This polish had a fantastic formula and the name is hilarious. The thermal aspect in this one started changing on me right away. It is exactly as described. The shimmer in this is extremely strong and extremely glowy. So this one is going to be a 2 to 3 coater depending on your own personal preference. I use 3 coats here for my swatches. Since this one is a colorless in the warm state thermal, this will be really fun to play with as a topper. Nothing in here will dry down textured or be overly difficult to remove. You will want top coat as this one does dry down dull. And side note, I tried looking for a GIF to use with this polish. None of them were safe for this channel, so yeah. And the final polish I have to share is by Twisted Nether Lacquer. We have Twilight Princess. This polish is inspired by the one and only Zelda and described as a beige curly base with violet, blue, and gold holographic glitters and microflakes plus sparks. It's priced at $13 for 15 ml and has a cap of 200 bottles. Polish had a fantastic formula. All of the glitters spread up very evenly and easily without needing to do anything special. I was also pretty surprised that this one dried down pretty smooth. I only used 1 coat of top coat and that smoothed it one out completely. This will likely be a 2 to 3 coater depending on your own personal preference. I found that I did like the way it looked in 3 coats best, but I am obsessed with glitter, so that's my opinion. You will want top coat as this polish does dry down dull. as well as to bring out the flakies and the sparks. Removal on this will be on the more difficult side due to all of the glitters. Soak this one off or pair it with a peel-off base coat.
Okay, I just took out 5 polishes that those are going to be my top picks. There were quite a few that I really enjoyed. So my number 1 top pick, which was a standout for me, is the Crystal Knockout Polish called Giggle. When I was swatching this one, I knew immediately this was going to be my top pick for the month. So I was swatching this one. I think I finished watching it like right before I had to go make dinner. And I was planning on doing more swatches after I was done with it. But I like this one so much that I was just like, yeah, I'm done for the day. I'm wearing this for the rest of the day. So yeah, I stopped swatching early just so I can keep wearing this one. I really feel like this polish really reminds me of everything that like the polishes that they give when I was a kid, like in the 90s, that they had in like Claire's and that kind of thing. This is what those polishes were supposed to be, but they never were. Like the glitters, they come out so easily. You don't have to do a lot. You don't have to do any fishing at all. And this one really reminded me of like the nail polishes that I got as a kid that were always just really terrible. This is what those polishes were trying to be. This was absolutely fantastic. My next top pick is going to be the My Indie Polish Pac-Man. This is going to be a no duh. Those star glitters, they just got me. Simple as that. Those star glitters, they got me. There is something about a black base that involves pink glitters that just speaks to my soul. Like I always say that black polishes aren't my thing. I have learned that I do in fact like black polishes just under very specific circumstances, and this is one of those circumstances. I thought this was fantastic. My next top pick is going to be another no-brainer. We got more glitter. So it is the Twisting Nether Lacquer Twilight, is it Twilight Princess? Yeah, the Twilight Princess polish by Twisting Nether Lacquer. This brand, I always say this I feel like, but it's the truth. Twisting Nether Lacquer is a slept on brand, and their glitter crellies are always really, really good. My first polish that I purchased from them was one of the polish pickup polishes. It was a glitter crelly, and I have just been absolutely obsessed with this brand's glitter crellies ever since. Like I just buy them all. Like I really, really love them. This was no exception. This was really fantastic. I feel like all of my top picks this month are no does. My next top pick is going to be the Heather's Hues polish, of course. So if you don't already know, I feel like I always stand out on the rooftops and talk about my love for Heather's Hues. And I usually try not to include Heather's Hues polishes in my top picks just because this is the brand that like has been my go-to brand for years now, and I always feel bad, but I just love this thermal. This thermal was absolutely gorgeous. And my final top pick is going to be the NeVerMind Apothecary polish. This was a surprise top pick for me. I like teals, but there was something about this teal base paired with the shimmer and the flakies that I found really enjoyable. It was a surprise to me how much I like this one, so that's why I'm including it in a top pick, just because I was very surprised that I liked this one as much as I did. Okay, I lied. I wanted to talk about one more polish. So the final top pick, for real this time, is the Pretty Beautiful Unlimited polish, as well as the Pretty Beautiful Unlimited Wax Melt. This wax melt, I have it going right now. This smells like candy with like a hint of booziness. I did not know I liked boozy scented products until I had this one going. It smells amazing. And the polish is blue, it's flakies, that's what I like. So yeah, this polish was really fantastic, super color shifty, like, oh, that is, I'm sorry, that is just so pretty. I just love this polish. Okay, and so that is everything. I just want to say thank you all so much for watching my videos. Thank you to everyone who has subscribed to my channel. Polish pickup opens this Friday. Don't forget to enter my giveaway, which is linked down in the description box. Comment and tell me what was your favorite polish. Let me know. I always love seeing what everyone is picking up for polish pickup. So I will be filming my comparisons video probably on Tuesday. So if anyone could hit me up, let me know what they want compared. Right after I'm done recording this, I'm going to be recording my polish pickup wish list video. So yeah, hope everyone has a fantastic weekend. Happy Halloween! And yeah, I will talk to you all in the next video. Bye!